It's been a while, but welcome to the Mandalorian Aftershow. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. And even though Mandalorian is not out right now, there's always news and things that come out about the Mandalorian. And this is a show, we talk about it, at least. There are a couple of things that came out that I want to talk about. And it's a birthday, a very special birthday today. You can follow us on all social media platforms at James Lott Jr. or JLJ Media. We did, of course, season 2 Mandalorian on here. We did season 1. There's on another platform we did season 1, but Ryan Nilsson and I did season 2. You can listen to all the episodes we did of season 2 recaps on here. I will be back with season 3. I'm not sure who my co-host will be yet. I don't know if Ryan will be able to come back with me. He has some nice big jobs happening right now, so he's not able to come back, but we're still friends. I don't know if he'll be able to come back or will be my co-host from Boba Fett, Frank Moran, and John Duffy. I'm not sure yet. But we have a while to think about that because Mandalorian 3 is not coming out for a while. Season 3 is coming out for a while. But there is some news. But still follow this after show. If you're new to it, follow it. I will always be giving you updates that are Mando related. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Pedro Pascal, who is the Mandalorian. He is 47 years old. To me, there are several things. He was born April 2nd, as I'm doing this, 1975. There are several things that I'm just so happy about the Star Wars universe. Number one, a person who is of a certain age playing this character that literally is ageless. It's a character that doesn't matter what age it is on some level. He plays it so well. But the fact that he is in his late 40s as a lead of a hit show and a hit role, I love that. I think it's great. Some of us who are a little older, I'm in my 50s, almost a little older, we have a lot to offer still, and we're still here. And in the Star Wars universe, age is barely usually a thing. It's usually just characters are characters. And that's the one thing I really like about the Star Wars universe there. So happy birthday to him. Hope he's enjoying himself, whatever he's doing today. Birthdays are important. Also, there is new news. This is very, because I've always, well, you have to, I've always wondered how they calculate what's a hit on streaming services. Every platform's different. I know that for cable, they go by subscriptions and who watches per subscription. And I believe even those streaming services that are from the prescription, like HBO Max, I think they do the same thing because they're tied to a subscription service, right? But Netflix, Disney Plus, they're all separate. Hulu, they're separate entities. So I always wonder how they do this. Well, they do it in a certain way. They released this thing saying The Mandalorian is the most watched program on Disney Plus by billions of minutes. I never heard before my entire life. Billions of minutes. Never heard of before my entire life. Was like, what? So billions of minutes. So according to them, the top 5 shows by billions of minutes ever so far to date are Mandalorian season 2, Mandalorian season 1, Loki season 1, WandaVision, and surprisingly, the Book of Boba Fett, which they don't say season 1. Wink, wink. They just say Book of Boba Fett. So I'm like, was that just a limited little spinoff? I don't know. But that's very interesting. So basically, the Marvel and Star Wars universes are taking over. But as season 2 did better than season 1. And I almost think the reason why Boba Fett is in there is because half the season was Mandalorian. So literally, the 3 of the top 5 is Mandalorian related. It is a spinoff of Mandalorian, so it's Mandalorian related. That's very interesting. So they're saying billions of minutes. And actually, you can go find the article. It's on Metro, I think .co.uk. You go on Twitter or whatever, find it. But they break down the actual minutes. So it's like 8 billion minutes and 4 billion minutes. I'm like, yeah. I know that YouTube also, like for these things that we do, they kind of gauge things by minutes also. Like how long do you actually watch each show? Do you watch it all the way through or partially, and they kind of helps you rank or something? So I thought billions of minutes. But either way, however they calculate it, Mandalorian's number 1 and number 2. So that just says something. A show that completely came out of nowhere. And I have to admit, I like season 2 better than season 1. So there you go. Also, Max Lloyd Jones, who played Luke's body double in The Mandalorian, has done an article, has done an interview, out that says he didn't know that he was going to be replaced when he saw Luke in Boba Fett. But he did praise how crisper and more natural it looked, which it did, which we said in our show. I have a show, the Boba Fett After Show. If you like Boba Fett, this channel, go over to that after show and watch what we said about that whole situation. Me and John Dunphy and Frank Ram. But he was praising how crisper it looked, how it looked different. He didn't sound upset. He just was surprised that he come back to him, which I mean too. I know in Hollywood things change and productions and people get recast, but I would have thought he just would have used him again. Just said, here you go. But he does appear as not Luke in an episode of Boba Fett as Lieutenant. I wrote down Lieutenant Reed. So it was in the Starfighter scene. You'll see him. He's in it. So they still used him. So he's part of the Star Wars family. He's in the universe. So like I said, he wasn't upset. He just was surprised he didn't get called back. But I guess that happens in Hollywood sometimes. Maybe there was some hype thing. Who knows? Who knows why they didn't call back? But I would think almost like, well, because a lot of times Star Wars uses the same people for a long time. Something like that. So that was interesting to hear. Also, there was some casting news because part 3 we know nothing about right now. But Misty Roses will be back as the Frog Lady in part 3. The Frog Lady, I love it. In Mando season 3. She'll be back. So we're getting kind of little pieces of. We got Christopher Lloyd's coming onto the show. We don't know as what yet. She's coming back. I'm assuming Amy Sedaris is gonna be back. And her band of merry things on her planet. There's just so many questions, right? Cobb Vanth was actually in a back to tank on Boba Fett. So will he be back on Mandalorian? Will Boba Fett and Fennec make an appearance on Mandalorian? Will Ahsoka make an appearance? Like, there's so much we just don't know. And just by the shock of those couple of episodes of Boba Fett, which were basically Mando heavy, which gave us Mandalorian essential stuff you need to know. So if you have not watched Boba Fett, I say start episode 4, say 4, 5, and 6. You have to watch them. And so you'll be set for part 3, actually. Because part 3, I don't know how it's going to pick up, but they did some, you got a ship fixed, and you got Grogu, so there's some major stuff that's happening in Boba Fett. That's for me. I said, I know, just we had such an interesting time trying to review the book Boba Fett the last half of the season. Because it was so Mando heavy. It was the strangest thing trying to wrap our heads around. We were in shock. But that's neither here nor there. That's your Mandalorian news of late. We're going to continue to keep our ears open for any season 3 stuff. Now I have another show called Darth Vader Is Your Father. We haven't been out. We were on a little hiatus. We're coming back. You made that a hit for us also. And we also have a Obi-Wan Kenobi after show that's become a minor hit already. The show hasn't even come out yet, but we've done we reacted to the trailer. We did some previews. We made an announcement about the actual series when it's being released. So check that out. So on JLG Media, which is one of your Star Wars places for content, we have this show. We have the Boba Fett after show. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi after show. And we just have Darth Vader Is Your Father, which talks about all kinds of, Darth stuff, of course, but all kinds of Star Wars stuff. So you have 4 pieces of Star Wars content you can choose from on this thing. And I know you got plenty of choices. So while you're checking all the others, bring us in. Just check out what we're talking about. We have lively discussions. We bring you all kinds of news and gossip. And check us out. I'm James Lott Jr. This is The Way. See you next time.